And welcome to the February 28th, 2022 meeting of the Board of Health. Can I have a roll call, please?
Gavin Byers.
And Chris Nocella. Jim LeClaire will not be attending, has a emergency down south. So there's the two of us, but enough for a quorum, and our administrator is on the phone. Due to illness, she cannot come in, and that we recommended she stay home. Okay, additions or deletions, 48 hours in advance. Kyle, do you have any?
The minutes of February or January, there's only one of two there, and I respectfully request that the fee schedule be moved to the next meeting, because Rick and I haven't had a moment to talk about that.
The minutes?
The fee schedule.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the 13 fee schedule. Yes, we're gonna move that when we get there. Okay, so we're good?
And then
Yeah.
I'm continuing 1.7.
Oh,
And,
Main Street Septic Club?
and then also 1.11 we don't need.
1.11? I actually have that in here. Well, it might not be yours, but I have one for special permit for food truck.
That's 1.10.
Oh, that's the referral, okay. Oh, so we're doing away with the other permits and legal issues?
Yep.
Okay, good. Are we putting those to the 14th?
Yes.
All right, moved. To 14th. Okay. So let's jump right in and get to the 1.3 COVID update, including masks update. Rick, start us off, big guy.
We can start with the numbers. There was some good news as far as that goes.
Yes.
Current case count over the previous 2 weeks in Townsend was 23 cases. That was reported February 24th, so Thursday last week. Percent positivity, Townsend was at 5.25%, Middlesex County at 2.13%, and the state was at 2.95%. And then that average daily incidence rate that we started looking at the last meeting was at 18. So it's actually kind of back to similar to what we were seeing in August. We're kind of back to that range.
In these cases being 2 weeks old, we could be anywhere.
Plus or minus, yeah. So yeah, they're, the
Okay.
data is like out, at this point, almost 2 weeks out.
Yeah. Well, that's very good news.
And then as far as vaccinations, I don't think they changed too much. So 75% of the population has at least one dose, 68% is fully vaccinated, and 38% have gotten a booster.
Very good.
So then getting into...
You don't have any other clinics scheduled, or
We do.
We do.
So they should be listed on the website, or people can find them through the Neshoba website, but there is one coming up in Townsend sometime in March.
Okay, just will keep us in mind, remind us, and we'll have that over the air for the people to know.
Okay.
That won't get a chance to look at the website.
Or, yeah, I'll get that before we're done here.
Okay.
And then, so as far as other stuff that COVID related, that's changed since we last met. Let's see here. The state had come out and we had talked about it last meeting that they were dropping the masks effective today in the schools, but there was still a federal requirement as far as wearing the masks on the school buses. And effective February 25th, 22nd, 2022, it is no longer required that masks be worn on school buses or vans for K through 12 students and children in child care programs. Schools and districts may decide whether to lift or maintain local mask requirements on buses or vans, but they did update that at the federal level.
Yeah.
Last meeting we talked about the state's revised guidance, or I think that came out
I think
that
that
day.
came out that day or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
right after,
Okay.
yeah.
So, right now it's basically, the suggestion is to wear a mask if you are, have a weakened immune system, or if you you are at increased risk for severe disease because of your age or an underlying medical condition, or if someone in your household has a weakened immune system, is at increased risk for severe disease, or is unvaccinated. So that's a pretty big change from the previous advisory, so that's a state level. And then CDC came out and revised theirs, and so they're using what they call community levels now. And it says COVID-19 community levels are a new tool to help communities decide what prevention steps to take based on the latest data. Levels can be low, medium, or high, and are determined by looking at hospital beds being used, hospital admissions, and the total number of new COVID-19 cases in an area. So right now, the entire state is either at the low or medium level. And if the community is in the low level, the recommendations are to stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccines and get tested if you have symptoms. And at the medium level, it would be if you are at high risk for severe illness, talk to your healthcare provider about whether you need to wear a mask and take other precautions. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccines and get tested if you have symptoms. And then when you get to the high, it would be wear a mask indoors in public. So right now, all of Massachusetts would not have a mask recommendation.
Right.
So the current Mass DPH and CDC guidance kind of line up with each other right now.
Yeah, so they're basically saying, no more mandatory masks, but recommend that you wear one if you're still compromised?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically, you guys have all along have said you want to follow the state and CDC recommendations, and so at this point, their advisory would be wear a mask if you're unvaccinated or you have underlying conditions.
Okay.
Hold on. And then I had sent all you guys a sheet that I had put together. It was all the data over the past 6 months. And so I don't know if you had gotten a chance to look at it, but you can kind of start to compare numbers. And like I said, we're kind of back to where we were really August through early November, and then kind of late November into beginning of February, we had that case increase. And now we've jumped back down to kind of where we were. So
Yeah.
things look good.
Yeah, definitely, I won't say we're out of the water, but I wish I could. We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there, no doubt about that.
And I think that the director for the CDC had come out when she made the announcement regarding the new advisory that they were going to be issuing, and basically said, this is what it looks like right now, but if we happen to have another variant come up and we see a surge in cases, then we might revise this, and that kind of might be how we take care of things moving forward, is we look for case surges and act accordingly.
Yeah, I saw that myself. Do you have anything else for us?
That is all COVID related.
Okay, as far as the mask mandates for town buildings, I would like to recommend to the board that we drop our mask mandates for town buildings at this time, and recommend to the selectmen that to maybe possibly put up a sign that says, wear a mask if you're immune compromised, or recommend wearing a mask if immune compromised.
Yeah, so
And
I think the lineup with
Yeah.
those two advisories, it would be
Yeah.
masks aren't required, but they are recommended for unvaccinated or people with
Yeah.
compromised immune systems.
Okay. Carla, can you send an email to them, or is that something I should do myself?
I can, once I can talk to TCAM and get back online, my computer seems to be crashed
I'll
at
do it.
home.
Will you? Okay, Rick will take care of that for us.
Just
Okay,
to
I'm
Ross.
hoping to be in tomorrow,
Only if you feel better.
if I can see.
Yeah, that's the most important part. You don't do us a lot of good if you're not feeling well, dear. We'd rather see you healthy.
So I'll write an email to Ross
Yep,
and I'll CC Carl on it.
okay.
That'll work.
Yep, that's fine.
Because he's the one that I had seen kind of going back and forth in
Right.
the past week or week and a half.
Well, that's
so.
how it's supposed to work, is we, as a board, communicate with the town administrator, and he, talks to the other boards.
Okay.
So that's, we'll keep it that way, we'll keep it in line like we're supposed to be. Okay, do we need to vote on that?
I would, because I think that's how you had originally
That's how we
handled
got it,
the,
Okay,
So I'll just make a motion,
Yep.
that the Board of Health, recommend that we follow the CDC and the state guidelines in terms of mask wearing.
mhm.
Um,
And ask the selectmen to remove mask mandate?
Remove indoor mandate for town buildings.
Very good, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we're off. Okay. We have 1.4, which is three-wheeler road management plan.
so, we had talked about this one at the last meeting.
Yeah.
This was, for the poultry processing plant,
Right.
that three-wheeler, and we were just waiting on comments come back from Mass Department of Agricultural Resources as far as whether there were concerns about their proposal to spread that liquid waste on their hay fields. And so the woman from Mass DAR, Taryn Lascola Minor, she had come back and said that agricultural processed water was defined within their regulations, which was 330 CMR 31, and that although they weren't subject to all of the requirements because agricultural processed water was not a part of the definition of plant nutrients, they wouldn't have to follow it all, but they would have to follow some. And so at the last meeting, you guys had said, I want to take a look at it before we make a decision, and so I don't know if you guys are ready to do that or not.
How about you?
I mean, I looked at it and
Yeah.
I feel they're fine. I
They're
mean,
within regulations and whatnot, I
Yeah.
don't see
I don't see
a
any
problem with that, and I don't think Jim will either. Do we need to, well, all we do is accept that, right? Is the
So-
waste management plan?
You guys had written that decision during the site assignment
Right.
hearings, and part of it was having an approved management plan as far as the waste.
Yeah.
So I think, if you guys are okay with it, and we just wanna specify that they do need to follow the requirements within that set of regulations,
Yeah,
that we write a letter that you guys accepted it tonight,
yeah,
and that we make a point of saying you do have to follow the requirements within that 330 CMR 31.
Yep.
But other than that, it looks okay.
and that's something you will send a letter out to them also?
Yep.
Okay, and CC to Carla?
Yep.
Okay, so we have it in our files. Okay, moving along, we have 6 Baker Hill Road septic update.
This is a house that recently had a Title V inspection and it failed. So they're just looking to upgrade it for the same number of bedrooms that already exist, which is 4.
Where's the new
So existing tank is right here.
Yeah.
New tank is just rotated 90 degrees, but still in the same location.
Okay,
And then they're coming down to the D box, and it'll be a Presby field in the front yard. And in order to make it all work, they are asking for
you're looking for a variance?
2 variances. So one is, we've seen this a couple of times on the Presby systems, a variance from your regulations to not have a filter in the tank. Presby doesn't recommend that it be there for gravity systems, so that's one that you guys have granted in the past.
Yeah,
And then the other one is a reduction in the offset from groundwater from 48 to 24 inches. And we've done that one too,
Yeah.
in certain circumstances. You can see just, they're already running their grading right to the property line there. And just, there's not a ton of space
yeah,
without
because
putting
you
in
got
a
all your
retaining
wells
wall.
on that side, so
Yeah,
there's no
so
way to
they're
go
kind
that
of
way.
over here anyways.
Yeah.
So it seems to make sense to me in this particular.
Where's the existing leach field?
I think it's right around in the same area. He doesn't have it called out in here.
Right,
So really, they abandon that, and then they have to crush and remove the tank, which they
Right.
have to because it's going in the same
Well, I
location.
thought they crush it and leave it there.
The septic tank,
Yeah.
they can, they'll
Or they
take
can
it out
remove
on
it,
this one,
okay.
just because it's going in the same spot.
All right,
But they can puncture it and keep it in place too.
okay. I don't, I mean, obviously, you're gonna have to give them a variance because there's nowhere else to put it. You know, I can't see them, you know, going around the pool doesn't make any sense. They know, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, can we get a motion for the variances?
I'll make a motion to accept the two variances, one for reduction in groundwater offset from 48 to 24 inches, and the other, the no filter for the Presby system.
So one's listed here and then the other one's down
Yeah, it'd be the no filter on the Presby system.
For 106
6 Baker
Barker
Hill.
Hill Road.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we'll give you that. All right, those are yours. Okay, so let's move on to 16 Center Street, which is what I have here. Look at that. Wow.
This is Jack's plan too, so he's in the deck there if you got any questions.
Hi, Jack.
How are you?
Good.
But pretty straightforward, this one. So existing house, the failing system, and they're looking to just put in a new 1,500 gallon 2 compartment septic tank, and then it'll be 3 leaching galleys. They're not asking for any variances, so it's in full compliance with the upgrade regulations.
What would Jim say? What were the soil tests?
They're pretty good.
Sand and gravel.
Yeah, sand and gravel.
Sand and gravel, perfect. No variances, just
No variances, yeah, so,
a new tank?
Yep.
Yep. Present location of the existing tank, so that's pretty close. The leach field was where?
so this plotted area right here.
Okay, approximate location of existing, okay. I think it's fine. I mean, there's no variances, you know? It's just a straight leach field, I assume.
Leaching galley, so it's like a concrete structure that's got perforations on the side, and then it's surrounded by stone.
Square dry wells.
Oh, okay. Now, does this get pumped at time, or is that,
No,
no, it's just like a leach field, but just,
they're like the old style leach pits, but they're only 2 feet deep.
really?
Yeah, they're 5.5 feet wide, 10.5 feet long, and you just put them end to end. And
Okay.
then I think on that one, it's either 1.5 or 2 feet of stone around the outside edge.
2 feet?
So
It's
you have
1.5
a lot
on
of
the
bottom
edge,
area
2
and a lot of
feet
sidewall on
to
it.
the bottom of the pipe.
Is that more expensive? Really?
No, I like to use them when you have like bony gravel, to try to get a nice even trench, 35, 40 feet long in that type of material. It's difficult for the contractors. It can be done, but you usually, if you're speccing a 2 foot wide trench, you usually end up with a 3 foot wide trench. And, between the
Sure.
spacing and all that, so it's easier just to hog out an area, throw these chambers in, and then fill it with a couple of feet of stone around, plumb it out to a D box back to the tank. So it's a very compact system.
And these 3 containers, I assume, all connect together somehow?
There's a D box that each one of those sections will have a line from the D box to.
So they're all basically separate containers?
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I'm
it's
looking
3
at, I
guys,
see
3
3 of
lines.
them. Oh, yeah, so you got actually one for each one then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
And that's per Title V.
okay. What do you think, kid?
Looks good.
Looks good to me. We'll make a motion to accept the
Septic
The septic
upgrade.
upgrade for 16 Center Street with no variances.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I'm gonna put this stuff back in here, I assume, for Kyle, or it's
Yeah,
just
that's
this?
fine. And then
This
that's
one
the
goes
permit.
with you, right?
Motion.
And then, so if you can just mention that tax thing.
Then you've got 222 Main Street, which is the septic flow.
Does that all go with that? Is that all with this?
That stays with Kyle.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got my file for
Yeah.
it, thank you.
And then Rick will get us back copies eventually, I assume.
Yep.
Put in the file. Excellent. Okay, so I have nothing on 222 Main Street, but you're moving that one off, you said?
That one's gonna come up,
On the
hopefully next
14th,
meeting.
okay. So we can do 5 Turnpike Road, apartment 220, request for additional time. Is this the one you went in with the court order?
It is, yeah. So,
Oh my God, Jesus, they keep wanting more and more time and never do anything.
so I haven't actually gotten the, return receipt for the certified mail yet,
Yeah,
which is what kind of starts our clock, so whenever they sign for it, it would start our timeline as far as when the corrections need to be made, or the last attempted delivery date. I know she got it, at least the first class mail version, cause she called me. And so when I had gone in and done that inspection, I also filed an elder at risk. My hope was that it would give her some resources, which it did. So the letter that we got is actually from Anna Corsani, who's from the Aging Services of North Central Massachusetts. They used to be known as Montechusett Home Care.
okay.
And so I'll read the letter, it's pretty brief. To whom it may concern. I'm writing this letter to request to the Townsend Board of Health a reasonable timeline to correct the violations for our consumer, Deb Cody, resident of 5 Turnpike Road, apartment 220, Townsend, Mass. 01469. Our agency is working with this consumer due to reports filed with allegations of neglect due to filthy, squalor living conditions, inappropriate or inadequate care or services, and forced from home eviction. Deb Cody has no proper support. The son is unwilling to help her, and she cannot do the cleaning herself due to her health conditions. I truly believe 30 days will be considered a reasonable amount of time to find services and help the consumer be in good standing. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or concerns. So essentially, she's asking for 30 days. The order, just because of how the code's written, gave her 24 hours, which I never thought was reasonable.
Yeah.
So 30 days seems like
How many times has she gotten extended?
none.
Yeah.
So this will be the first extension.
This would be the first
It's
extension.
just been a while trying to get in there to actually get a full report out of you. basically.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, so I don't have a problem with that. Do we need a motion on that one too?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay, you're up.
I'll make a motion to approve the 30-day extension for 5 Turnpike Road, apartment 220.
Starting when you receive, see that?
Yeah, so
that's
it would
the
be,
part-
it might have already happened, it just might have
Yeah.
not come back in the mail to me. So
Yeah.
I would say from the,
Date of return.
from the original deadline, whatever that happens to be, we just don't know what it is right now.
Well,
I gotcha.
yeah, my concern is that she holds that thing for another 2 years.
Well,
and
they
it's
can
like-
only, the mail only tried to deliver it 3 times, and after that, they'll send it back to us.
Yeah.
But I've noticed mail started to slow down again.
Hmm.
So I can look it up with the electronic version of USPS. I can track it that way
Yeah,
and see if she's at least signed for it, so we can establish a date. But it would be 30 days from whatever the original deadline would be, and it would be 24 hours from when she signed that.
so if she holds that and never signs it, 30 days could be 2
She
years
could
from
probably
now.
get 30 days just by not signing it, and then it would give her another 30 days. But the letter went out on,
But she risks losing help
Oh, yeah.
At that, so she,
Yeah.
that, it's not in her best interest to do that,
Right.
because she's gonna get help
Yeah,
from somebody other than her son.
yeah, which won't help her.
So, cause the
Okay.
original letter was mailed January 14th, and I
Yeah.
still don't have the receipt back. So I can only assume that their last attempted delivery date already happened, and it's on the way back to us if she didn't sign it, or it's on the way back to us signed. So it really would likely be 30 days or less from today.
All right. All right, I'll make a motion that we extend the 30-day additional time to, oh, you already did that.
We did.
You did, okay, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Why am I making motions on your motions? All right,
Motioning.
81.9, 83 Ash Street,
See what's on the bill?
septic tank with variances, oh boy.
Okay, oops, sorry about
That's
that.
okay.
This is Joe Lapalato's house, 83 Ash Street. Septic replacement, we have two existing 1,000-gallon tanks in the backyard to a leach field of some sort over in here, in failure. We did a test hole up in here, and we had about, I don't know if I have it written down there, but yeah, a nice loamy sand down to about 54 inches, and then it goes into a sandy till, or just a clay
I
till.
live around the corner, I'm well aware of what
Oh,
the
yeah.
soil is there.
So basically, from the house back,
Yep.
it's junk, and then from
Yep.
the house forward, it turns into sand. So what we've done is, we'd like to utilize the 2,000-gallon tanks here, which meet in definition your regulation of the 2-compartment tank.
Yeah,
And then we're gonna pipe it around here, do a D-box, and do a Presby system in the front yard where it's all sand.
okay,
We're gonna have to reroute the gas and water service. Right now, the water line comes right through the middle here, and then the gas line comes up here, so we'll have to come around.
mhm,
Have a little bit of fill that we'll have to take the top and subsoil out here and replace with Title V. But other than that, I'll go through the variances. Local variances, 12.9.3. In the septic upgrade, a 2-compartment tank, as in 12.9.1 is required, and we are using the 2 pre-existing 1,000-gallon septic tanks. And it says C, repair note 3, which they are to be inspected and brought up to code if the keys or anything, if they're leaking or whatnot, to be fixed. If it's beyond repair, then both of these tanks come out and a new 1,500-gallon 2-compartment tank will be put in place. So that'll be determined at the time
mhm,
of the installation. 12.9.4, all systems shall be equipped with an effluent T filter. We haven't provided any because of the
Presby
DEP,
system,
as in
yep.
the last hearing.
mhm.
Local upgrade approvals from Title V, 15405-1B, an increase in the maximum allowable depth of the system components from 36 to 72 inches below grade. We have provided 48 inches, and that's just to maintain gravity.
Mhm.
4051G, reduction of the system location setbacks from water supply line 10 feet, we have 9 feet. We have a 5-foot reduction down to a 4-foot offset, or from the 5-foot offset down to a 4-foot offset, that's 154051H. And 154051K, at least one D-pole has been provided. And that's basically because we have a water line, gas line, we have a retaining wall here that drops about 1.5 feet to get into the driveway area, so. And we had a big tree, so we only had one D-pole that we could dig at that point, so.
Makes sense.
Other than that, it's beautiful sand where we dug.
Yeah.
There is a soil change, but it's down a lot deeper, it's down 116 inches. So we kept the 4-foot offset off the soil change bottom, and then ran it gravity back. And there you have it.
How old are these tanks, do you know?
One of the tanks was put in not too long ago.
Yeah.
I don't have any
I
information.
don't have it with me, but I wanna say it was somewhere right around 2010.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So that basically, one of the tanks, and I'm assuming,
The second one out.
I'm just looking at the way this is set, and I'm assuming this is the main tank, and then this is the overflow.
That's the way it flows now,
yeah,
yes.
so.
Yeah.
Whichever is the newer tank, I would hope it was tank one, but,
I think it's tank 2 that was put in,
yeah,
just as a secondary tank. I don't know the reasoning why, it was before my time,
Yeah.
dealing with Joe on this.
yeah.
So I have
I know
no
the
idea.
regulations back then were like 2,000-gallon tanks or something. Remember Jim was telling us about that?
Yeah, it was it used to be 2 tanks, and one was a 1,500 and one was 1,000.
Yeah,
So they probably already had an existing 1,000-gallon tank,
right,
and then something happened and they added a second 1,000. There wasn't really much in the file that kind of said
Right.
why it happened.
yeah, okay. So, I really don't have a problem with that. You're moving the gas lines, you're moving the water line, you don't have a ton of room to move your pipes, obviously. So, as far as that goes, I don't see a problem with, the variance for being near the water line, you can't really help it. As far as the system goes, I would approve it with the stipulation that these tanks both pass inspection,
Mhm.
and that, if they do, you're fine with your variances.
Yep, and if they don't, like I said, we've
Yeah.
got the note in there that the contractor is to replace it if they
Yeah.
find it,
Yeah. Well, we'll have that put in there, Rick, that's all.
Yeah, so I already wrote the permit up, and part of it is, it says, installer, engineer, or other competent individual must certify in writing to the capacity and structural integrity of this existing septic tanks.
Okay, good. Sounds good. You wanna make a motion there, young man?
Go for it.
All right.
There's the one there. Who's the installer?
Don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
No, it's just, okay, so we're going to accept 83 Ash Street for a septic upgrade with variances. We, accept the variances also, and in the stipulation that, the existing tanks pass and won't need to be changed, but are there, if they need to be changed, the contractor will change them. Can I get,
I second.
okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Good night.
See you, Rick.
Okay, open space plan, I use later. What's this one? Voices, Main Street Trust?
That's that.
This is the main, yeah, okay. There we go. Okay, so now we're at mandatory planning board from Anthony Sabatino. This is the food truck guy.
Yeah, so Carla had emailed,
Yeah. Let's see
you
what we
guys
got
the
here
application
food
for it.
truck guy. What's this one? Wasted all. You wanna take a quick peek at this?
Yes. Thank you.
And then, I'll take a look at it and we'll discuss it. I mean, right now, they're just looking, a mandatory referral from the planning board, so.
Yeah, pretty much, and, we haven't really done any work towards making this a reality from a Board of Health perspective. So it's gonna be a really vague comments, like, they're gonna have to obtain food permits for all the trucks that they plan to bring there.
Now,
They're gonna need a sewage disposal system, and,
yeah, well, that's one of my concerns. I mean, every business that serves food in town has to have a potable, washing facility.
so,
How does that work as food trucks?
So there's a big difference between restaurants and food trucks, so in order to be licensed as a food truck, you need to have like a home base, and that home base has to be a licensed kitchen. And so really, what they're supposed to be doing is taking their trucks off-site, so if somebody was interested in this property and parking their truck there, it would be parked there during the day. At night, they would disconnect, drive it back to wherever their home base is, do all their prep work for the next day in that licensed kitchen, and then just put it in their truck and bring it back the next day to start serving people again. So they really shouldn't be doing any prep work or cooking on site other than what's allowed inside the food truck, like cooking a burger or something like
Yeah.
that they can do.
Okay.
So the proposal is to have a certain number of trucks there. with picnic tables for people to eat there if they choose to. And then they're also gonna have, you know, like a restroom facility for people, to use as well.
They're having like a portable toilets or something?
Oh, no, it'll be,
Says
you know,
bathhouse.
a fixed
Did it?
bathhouse.
I haven't
yeah.
read it yet, that's why, oh, really? You'll
Yeah.
put it in a bathhouse, nice. That would cover.
That was kind of, you know, he's had this idea for a little bit, and I brought it to us and kind of asked for some preliminary comments. And that was one of the big ones, was that, you know, we didn't really want to see something like that unless he had bathroom facilities there.
Right,
Yeah, so I talked to Bridget as far as the food service permitting portion of it, and she said, you know, her concerns were that if this was something that was gonna be approved, that it had to be made very clear that trucks couldn't be parked there and stay overnight, they had to move
right.
and go back to their home base. And then the other part is that obviously they've gotta be properly licensed as a food truck. And then from the other part of it, the septic portion, we've gotta make sure that they have a system that's adequate for however many number of seats they're gonna have there. Yeah, so they're not gonna be using as much flow as a normal restaurant, because they really, again, shouldn't be cooking there, and doing their prep work. They should be doing it back at their home base. But, you know, they will have that bathroom flow. And, they are proposing to have, water hookups at each of the sites. But they wouldn't have,
They're
like,
gonna have to have town water there.
they have town water there.
They do?
Yeah. But they wouldn't have like a, what the heck do they call it? Like a, for the RVs, they have them.
Oh, and drainage or?
Yeah,
Oh, like a septic
yeah, like,
plug-in
yeah.
spot, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not something they proposed, and it's really, they really should only be washing their hands and, you know, maybe doing a little bit of washing on there, but nothing significant enough that it wouldn't exceed what they've got, capacity to keep on the truck.
Yeah, so they're looking probably with a whole new septic system, I would believe.
Oh, yeah.
Where are these photographs from?
I think they're from places that they found that are kind of similar to what they wanted to do.
32 Main Street.
You know the old watch place, the blue
I
house?
do,
That's where he wants to put it.
interesting,
Yep, that is actually commercial property.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't have any food trucks in town.
So, you know, we license them through Neshoba.
Oh,
I'm not aware of any that are in Townsend, but we have
I'm sure
quite a
there's
few that
Bob
are
Shop, right?
licensed, yeah. Yeah, in some of the other towns, there are food trucks that set up kind of in a spot regularly, and that's kind of what they're proposing to do. But other than that, most of the food trucks you see are like for temporary events where they might, you know, drive to, you know, like a fair or a birthday
Sure.
party or whatever it
Yeah.
might be,
Yeah.
and set up for the day.
Yeah. I like it. I like the idea, I think it's, I mean,
Well, it
food truck eating
it's definitely different than restaurant eating,
it's pretty awesome though.
is it?
Yeah. They make some fantastic stuff.
They were a little before my time, we still ate off coffee trucks, so.
Well, that's a little different.
But I mean, I know they're everywhere now, and where they're located, that's gonna have to do a lot with planning, because you're coming onto a main highway, but they are gonna have to deal with curb cuts and stuff with the state.
What are the regulations like for the other towns that have, do you have to have a food truck site to have a regular, or can a food truck just pull up in a parking lot where they get permission and?
So, yeah, I mean, they have to have permission, and then I don't know if they're exempt from the requirement to have a common victual license, so
Yeah.
like a typical restaurant does. But I don't know if they have the same requirement as that goes. Those are issued by the Board of Selectmen, not by us. But, you know, our food code, which is what we issue our permits on, it does separate food truck and food service establishment.
Oh, okay.
Are they planning on having a dumpster, or how are they
I
getting rid of the
believe
trash?
they
Yeah.
did on their site plan.
I think it's out
I didn't see the site plan in here anywhere.
You know what, it was on, there was some preliminary paperwork that they sent us, and they actually had like a drawing of where they were gonna have the food trucks and how the parking was gonna be set up and where the bathhouse was gonna be. And for whatever
Yeah.
reason, they didn't include it in this package.
Well, like I said, my concern is, obviously the disposal, they're gonna need a hauler permit from their hauler, they're gonna need, definitely a good clean dumpster, they can't just leave food there for a week and, you're
I don't
out
think
in the
anything should
woods.
be left, I think
Yeah.
everything should be taken out.
Well,
With the-
my guess is that they're probably gonna have like, because they're gonna have however many number of picnic tables they said, I think it was 20 or
20,
something like that.
Was it 20?
They still
20
try to,
picnic tables,
Yeah.
that they're probably gonna have trash cans right there, and so they would need a dumpster on site, that would be emptied regularly. And you know, if you wanted to, specify a time, now would be the time to mention it.
yeah,
That's part of the mandatory
I'm a little scared of leaving, I guess restaurants do it too, so it's kind of,
Yeah,
I don't know what the schedules we have for restaurant trash pickup, you know?
They're usually weekly, but no more than 2 weeks,
Yeah,
covered container.
yeah, because I would definitely wanna put that in as our comments.
so they're gonna need septic upgrade, right?
Oh, they're gonna need septic. They're gonna have to have a whole new septic system for that. Because
So,
where
right.
they're not
Well-
using that system. Because that system is for a
Yeah,
house of,
Right,
what is that house anyway, 2 bedrooms maybe?
I didn't pull the file.
You know, and you're looking at something for the public to use, which is, I don't know, how do we determine how big a septic tank you're gonna need?
It's in Title V, so they give you flow numbers, so it would be based on each seat.
Oh, how
So-
many seats at the picnic table type thing? or-
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it's 6 or 8 seats at a picnic table times 20 tables.
Yeah,
So it would, what I had talked to Bridget about was like 20 gallons per day per seat, which is the fast food number.
yeah,
So that your fast food typically is the difference between that and food services. They have like disposable, like everything comes in something you throw away. There's no warewashing associated with it.
oh, yeah,
yeah, okay.
that makes sense.
Yes. Wow, okay, what I'm thinking here is,
so what are they looking for right now? We just need
just a
to,
referral. You know how you make comments, like,
yeah,
we send out comments for other boards, the planning board's looking for something from us. This will be something that will,
do you mind putting together, Rick, a list of,
No, I can definitely, I'll put together, I wanna sit down with Bridget so that I make sure that I get everything that she would want from the food service part of it, and then I'll deal with the rest. And, the only thing I didn't see was, did Carla put anything as far as when they're it's March
March
14th?
14th, they're looking for an answer, so it's something,
So I could put something together, like tomorrow or Wednesday, and then send it out to you guys, so you could review individually and let me know if you wanted anything else included on it.
yeah. Okay, and then what we could do is, individually let Carla know if we like what you wrote, or if we wanna add something or subtract something.
Exactly, yeah.
And,
can we let them know, we'll give them
yeah.
an answer on the 15th?
no, their public hearing is on the 14th. We'll have to do this, which we've done stuff in the past where, you'll come in and sign,
Yeah,
an
Yeah,
approval.
Usually I sign these and write them, this one's a little bit more involved, because I think there's gonna be more comments than us than usual.
Yeah,
But I think if I put something together, get it out to you guys, so you have a couple of days to look at it and respond, and we get something back to them by, say, like the 7th.
yeah,
Because usually they want a week to get it back and distribute it to the planning board members so that they
Yeah.
can review it prior.
yeah. So you know what our concerns are, basically, obviously it's the trash I would like to see that picked up once a week, not sitting there for any longer, because you are gonna be at the rail trail, and we really don't need rats and mice hanging around the rail trail scaring the people in town. And they're also not far from other food establishments that we don't want to cause a problem with things growing, like we have in the past by
Yeah.
some renovations that were done in town.
Probably a pest control plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I mean, if we just establish that with everything from now on out.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's, you know, something that's required by the food code anyways,
Okay.
but where this is more of like an outdoor spot, I don't think that's a bad idea.
yeah. You know the black boxes, the trap boxes or the bait boxes
Yep.
that they put around, probably be a good idea.
Yeah, so we can just write, your pest control plan with a licensed pest control company,
Yeah,
and then, you know, they can use their professional judgment to determine what they have to put out there.
okay. Yeah, they're no better than we would.
Are there future plans for this place to do anything more than that? I mean,
If they were, then they'd have to get
Just
approval
approval.
now, or you'll come back for it
Yeah.
and receive new approval. And that's why kind of these ones, you know, they've really gotta have an idea of what they wanna do, because our comments are specific to what they're proposing. So expanded use would require, you know, new hearing, new permit.
Okay, so you've got dumpsters, you've got pest control, and geez, as far as us, there's really not a lot other than the septic system and, cause they've got town water.
So, yeah, town water, septic, dumpster with a licensed hauler, and emptied one time per week. Need food service permits,
Yeah.
must leave site, no overnight parking, and a pest control plan.
Yep. Do you think of anything else?
is there any, compete things that we ever deal with,
You mean with like other restaurants?
or with other restaurants? It's not within the vicinity?
No, yeah, I mean, planning board could potentially get into that, but that wouldn't be something I would do.
We deal with?
No, that's not what we do, that's planning.
No, I think,
You wanna go with that?
yeah.
All right, Rick, write that up.
Alright.
Get it to us as soon as you can, and Carla, what we'll do is get back to you. And, if we agree or make changes, we'll let you know, and you can get a hold of Rick, how's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay. All right, let's move on to, well, we're not doing that one. Open space plan required, Board of Health Representative George, are you here? All right, we're gonna table that one till the next meeting.
Did you see his email,
No,
everyone?
the last one I saw, I think, was, you talking to him about coming or something.
And he said that he would do it, and I have it in the package, and he asked me to call him this morning, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. I, sent him an email and asked him if he could, come to the meeting or join on the call, which obviously he isn't. But he's very excited to do it, and I think he's a good addition.
Yeah, okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this here, right, which was sent from George, and I'm gonna let Gavin take a peek at it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I get that.
You remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
Okay, so we're all set with that, Carla, we'll talk to him when,
It would be great if you would make a motion to nominate George.
oh,
I'll make a motion to nominate George Sullivan for the open space planning position and representation of the Board of Health.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved, Carla, you can let him know.
I will.
Okay, now we're going to 113, and we are moving that one to the 14th also. And we got invoices, oh boy, look at all these invoices.
Have you let Rick go?
Oh, Rick, are we all done with you?
Yeah, unless, Carly, you're taking minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry,
I'm
not
taking him.
Rick.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Oh.
I got minutes.
All right,
Yeah, so as long as you got that covered, I'm all
Yeah.
set otherwise.
all right, thanks, Rick.
Alright,
Have a good day.
Thanks, Rick.
No, he's staying.
Oh, you're staying?
Oh, well, no, if it's being recorded, I can take the minutes off and record.
Yeah.
Gavin's taking
Carla,
minutes.
I've got minutes, I'm gonna put them in your ledger here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. He's not writing in your ledger, he's writing his own, and we'll leave you a copy of them, how's that sound?
I'm gonna check for artist, markings.
Okay. All right, so we have the recording being done, and
I'm
Gavin
taking
will,
notes.
Gavin will leave you the notes, and you can choose how to do that. All right, so let's move on to, Weston and Sampson. Yay. $2,186, yay. I love to pay those guys.
Yeah, it's in your contract, you have 19,000, part of your contract.
Yep, also, wow, Jesus, overflow bags, man. What I forgot, Carla, and I should have done it under the, so we don't have anything on the, recycle center.
No, I didn't have it on the agenda, so I pushed it off because I'm not there.
Okay,
I just didn't feel that it was appropriate, I'm not, percent right now.
no, that's fine, that's fine. Because we had talked about it, and, that's okay. This is,
Right,
yes.
right, I think we can wait 2 weeks, though, I really like, even with Jim not there, I know he'd really like to have him here on that.
Yep, okay. This is post office. I imagine these are for sending plans to our friend Jim.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, where did I put that one? Wow, there's a lot of these. We spent a lot of money this week, Carla, for this 2 weeks. All right, what we got here? Following named bill, Board of Health, expense account amount of $42.48 approved by the Board of Health. All right.
So what is the vendor
That would be you, dear.
for the description?
A toilet brush and hiring sign for recycling.
Oh, yes, because I used our well, we don't have an Amazon account, the town, I use my own.
Yeah,
And I actually do the tax, which is okay.
yeah,
But, we really want to advocate for, recycling, an employee. So I got 2 of those little aluminum signs, so when people come in,
yeah,
when they drive in, they'll see it. And then when they're open, they can put it out there.
yes,
They're like $7, and our new employees, figure that they're gonna clean, so we don't feel that we need a cleaner now.
okay,
And they wanted a toilet brush, and they're cleaning themselves.
very good,
Nice.
wow. Order confirmation from SEAB Hitzenbuehler. I don't know who that is.
Well, that's Sean.
Oh, that's Sean?
As you know, because I didn't have a credit card to do
Yeah.
that. So that's actually for new 1-quart containers for our needle disposal.
Yep,
If you remember, we got that, I think it was
wow, that was,
last January.
yeah,
Was it a year and a half ago?
yep. Oh, that's
We've
not
gone
bad.
through 50 or 25. So we're not, a lot of people bring their own, but then they still have to spend the disposal fee.
Right,
But we're getting,
25 more,
hammered. You're gonna see the agro waste, which is disposal.
yeah,
McNabb is coming in, and they're paying. I
yep,
mean, they have the booth clinics, they're paying. We also negotiated with the fire department to have a 5-quart container available for the miscellaneous at each time that comes in.
okay. And they're paying too, I assume.
I'm looking at the Renaville,
Rev.
thank you.
Revenue?
Revenue.
Thank you.
Revenue. And, I'm really thinking that because McNabb is coming in and helping with the disposal every 2 weeks now,
Okay,
that we might be able to squeeze in a 10-quart container twice a year. It would cost you $20. And I think that the fire department might go in 10. I'm not speaking for them, but I'm just looking at the disposal to have the miscellaneous person that comes in. The fire department is willing to have it at the station,
Yep.
which is a 24/7 place for someone to put it.
yep,
They seem to be working with them. I thought it was a win-win situation, but of course it's not my decision, it's yours.
anyway, that, I mean, this is something like we've only had for a year and a half, and we've been pushing for it for years, I know the board has, and we finally got the, container, so, I'm all in favor of it. Gavin, how about yourself? Gavin, this too?
Yeah.
All right, so that, we'll go with that, Carla.
Okay,
All right.
so what you were approving was me refilling the containers for the Board of Health when people come for the containers, but I'm also informing you that the fire department is putting a 10-quart container there for miscellaneous EpiPens.
Yep,
And then they're asking us to dispose of it in our kiosk.
can we do that?
We can,
Yeah,
and
we
they're
see.
looking at, we were talking about splitting the cost, and I'm telling you, it's maybe $20 a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think to, work with the fire department, I think we can absorb the $20.
I really would like to do that, but.
Yeah. Yes, I think we can do
I don't
that.
think anyone's gonna abuse it.
Well, we'll find out next year if we get 35 of them, and we'll be like, whoa, wait a second here, fellas. But,
Well, they'll be coming in at the fire department, they'll
Yeah.
be coming in at the fire department, so you will be able to monitor it.
yes. All right, so
we'll see how it goes.
all right, we're good with that. Okay, so the next one we have is the $85 to pay to get rid of the needles.
And you probably have another one after that.
I have two more after this.
Yes, you do.
Ooh, the revolving account, Staples. Budget Center. Oh, Kleenex tissues, okay. I'm looking through this thing for Staples, and it was,
No, that's toilet paper for the recycling center.
oh, it's
Behind
toilet
on
paper.
a cake.
Yes.
I
Oh,
don't
bath
know
tissue,
that-
I get it. I just saw Kleenex and assumed it was facial tissues. Okay, yep,
No.
we do now. It's not Cottonelle, it's Kleenex. Kleenex makes Cottonelle. Okay, you learn something new every day. And last but not least, Apple Meadow, we need to pay Sam.
So we got a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket
Yep,
for the highway department to drop off for salt, so we could salt the areas where the containers were frozen
yep,
from the last one.
yep,
They were great.
yeah.
Turned it over.
No problem. We like to support local business. Woo-hoo, that takes care of our invoices. Now, for the board. We did get approval for our, waste zero overflow supply bags. I am the only one that needed to sign it for, our board, because we were waiting on confirmation from, the lawyers, and they all said, yep, we can do it, so, this is a big help for us, it helps the town, helps everybody. So what we'll do is we'll submit this, Carla, I guess you will submit this to the, Board of Selectmen for signatures?
Yes.
Okay, that takes care of waste zero. Oh, let me take care of that one, which I'm happy we finally got that straightened out. Then we got the minutes, what we read, and approved. And we got the future items, septic upgrades, regulation updates, table till spring, stable regulations, table till spring. And the next meeting is March 14th, 2022 at 5:30. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 6:32.
Second, all in favor?
Alright.
Aye, thank you.
That's what-
Yeah, all right, Carla, thank you. We'll shut you off once I figure out how.